I think I've touched on in my longer videos the move from nominalism, which does not have the issue of universalism. Why that's in context, because we're looking at recuperating from Kant without the universalism that comes from Kant. So universalism attached to Kant and others, bundled up as idealism. But to get to nihilism, the groundwork really is a move from nominalism, which does not have that issue of universalism, from nominalism to subjectivism, and from there, in recognition, perhaps nominalism to conceptualism to subjectivism, and then the move to nihilism. So that would be a intellectual move where, recognizing the issue of universalism, you still want to retain a relationship or a practice that is reasonable, that's rational, that's potentially as strong intellectually as science. So it's going to have empirical elements. So is it a phenomenological approach? Well, it could be, but I've also touched in those longer talks the issue of language, which can be looked at later. But for this, what I'm getting at is, did I actually state what nihilism is? And had I made it clear as a practice, it's not using or utilizing or find to no utility strictly in belief as a practice. So philosophy gets to a point where it does not believe, it doesn't use belief, and it's not about belief. That doesn't necessarily make it nihilist, but the nihilism is in that space. And I've spoken about that Kantian space and getting to that space because you don't want to lose something like the philosophy of Kant, even if his totalizing system was an attempt at universal truth. So the philosophical disposition you can identify as nihilistic is one that typically with philosophy traces claims, traces their metaphysics, and says what's the truth claim here. The issue that arises from doing that is there's a truth claim, there's belief, but why should we see a connection between them? And then from there you kind of operate or practice, as I say, without belief. So that's philosophy proper. I mean, sure, it's full of belief, but it doesn't have to be. That would be the point for the nihilist.